Hey, welcome to Rising Bravely. I'm Heather Lusky. I am an intuitive life coach and guide, as well as an energy worker. I know that last time we talked a bit about, I was sharing that I'm getting the strong message that it's time for myself and for all of us to be showing up in the world and in our lives in a way that is powerful and authentic. And I think sometimes we're not sure, or we have a confused idea about what it means to be powerful. And I want to unpack that a little bit today. I recently had I've had a couple of experiences piggyback off of each other. I recently led a group of women in a shamanic healing journey, and it was my first time. Not my first time participating, and not my first time facilitating healing with individuals. It was my first time facilitating a journey like that and in a group setting. It's something that I've been building up to and that I've known is one of my powers in this world, like something that I'm here to do and something that I'm good at, and yet I've been too scared to do it. What if I don't know what I'm doing? What if I do this wrong? What if I look like an idiot? I mean, that's kind of... Let's just pause right there. I think that's really what a lot of this comes back to for most of us. What if I look like a fool? What if this lands on its face? What if nobody receives this or it doesn't work? Or, right? So I just want to honor that if you're feeling that way or thinking that about anything in your life or anything that you're dreaming about, that's that. I've been battling that since I was a child. Actually, my mom likes to tell this story. Shout out to mom. Mom likes to tell this story that I went to like kindergarten screening and they asked me to build they had like a tower of blocks and they built it in a certain way and they had laid out all the materials you would need to build the same thing and some skill test, or I don't know what they were testing exactly, but they asked me to build the duplicate tower. I refused. And I was a fairly obedient child. I mean, I was willful in a lot of ways, but I also was the kid who, I'm a people pleaser. I want you to not be mad at me, or I want you to be happy with me. I will do what you want me to do. And, we can unpack some of that later. But that's where I'm coming from. I have a long history of that, and it's taken me a long time to really stand in my power as a woman and learn my authentic voice and how to use it powerfully. And so as a child, asked to do this task, and my response was no, no, no. And people are getting frustrated with me. Why won't she do it? And my mom is embarrassed. She's like, oh, I want you to do this. And my response was, it will fall. I will not build it because I won't be successful. It will fall over. And so if there's any area of your life where you're scared about not being enough, not being good enough, not being able to make happen what you think you need to make happen to be successful, whatever success means to you, I invite you to understand that most of us are dealing with the same thing. And if I talked about this last time, if you're waiting for the day that you're ready, you're going to be waiting a long time. You might be waiting your whole life. You may lose your opportunity. So I know that was a little bit of a sidetrack, but recently I went into this with this group of women. I facilitate this journey. Did it go perfectly? No. And I also know that every time I do this type of group work moving forward, it's going to be better than that. And it was good. It was really good because this is what I was born to do. Like, if your heart is calling out for something, if it feels truly right and aligned in your spirit, you're meant to at least try to do it. And if you don't succeed the way that you want to, there's still a reason why you're meant to do it. It is leading you somewhere. Please try to trust the process. That's mostly why I'm sharing this with you, because what I've been learning is to trust myself and to trust the process, that it isn't about showing up perfectly. It's not about it looking a certain way. It's about the act of the doing that takes us to the place we're meant to be. And so I facilitated this journey, and I got some really amazing feedback that these women experienced something powerful and healing. And if I hadn't been willing to put myself out there and possibly look like I don't know what I'm doing, or possibly make a mistake, I did make some mistakes, right? Like, if I hadn't been willing to accept that it's okay to do this imperfectly, they never would have gotten to have this experience, and I wouldn't be in the place of realizing that I'm ready to deliver this experience to more people. And then flash forward a week later, this past weekend, my little sister was getting married, and I was helping to facilitate. I was delivering the marriage ceremony. I'm ordained to do so. It's not the first time I've done it, but this is my little sister, and I was so nervous. And it's my family. My family is watching me this time, and if I mess it up, it's my little sister's wedding day, and then along the process of getting ready, I realized that there was this other piece that I wanted to add in, something that I felt very called to share with her and her now husband, to add to their wedding day and to create a beautiful memory for them, and to create something that they could keep as both a memory and also to help move forward in their relationship in a loving, productive way together. And so I had thought of like wanting to do this other separate ceremony that I wanted to do before, on the wedding day, before the actual wedding ceremony, to help kind of create a clearing, to just clear out the energy and then call in all the productive energy and guides and angels and whoever might be watching over the day. And I had seen this vision of using these crystals, and I hope I'm not losing you, but stay with me here. So I had seen this vision of using these crystals to represent them and their union, and that these were going to be charged and given as a gift for them. And I'm learning that it's not about me trying to figure out how to do this. It's not me trying to figure out how it's supposed to be. That's when I get totally tripped up. If you are up here, our brains are powerful, wonderful tools, but if you are up here, chances are you're missing something important, because this isn't where we get our most important information. I mean, we have our third eye and our crown chakra, right? But I'm pointing at the brain. It's opening ourselves up to feeling into and being open to receive what is being given to us to do and how to do it, and trusting that we have the tools inside of us to do it appropriately, whatever it looks like. So let's just throw the idea of perfection out the window. But if you're measuring it, and I even said this to my sister, if you expect your wedding day to look a certain way and it doesn't look exactly like that, you'll be disappointed. Just embrace whatever happens, and you'll have a beautiful day, right? So this sentiment carries through in all of our work on this planet. If you can be open to what's wanting to happen instead of trying to force it to be how you envisioned it, you have no idea how amazing things can go and how much easier it can be. And so coming back to this ceremony that I wanted to do, the day started out and there was so much going on. It was busy. And I started to realize like it wasn't going to happen at the time that I had decided to do it. And I had wanted to bring in some other people to help support. And I felt nervous about that because I didn't know if other people would be into it, or if they would understand what I was trying to do, if they would think I was weird, or we don't want to be part of this. This includes my family. I'm kind of the weird one in my family. So I'll just go ahead and say it, right? So I'm learning to trust that that's okay, and trust my family can love me exactly as I am, whether we see the same way on something or not. Because they do. And you may find yourself in situations where that aren't always safe. That's a real thing. But a lot of the time we're just ruminating in fears of all the things that could go wrong or that could happen to us. And in reality, a lot of time they're not going to happen. So here I am, I'm preparing to perform a really important wedding ceremony, and I'm really worried about this other thing, this other ceremony, and what I'm going to do with it, and who's going to participate, and how people are going to feel about it. And I decided to let that go as much as I could and move through the day the way the day wanted to happen, embracing everything that was coming up along the way. And soon I found myself standing in the front of this chapel performing this marriage, this beautiful marriage, and it was perfect and it was wonderful. And again, it was like another validation of just trust that you have what you need to do this. It will be what it's meant to be. And then we find ourselves at the reception, and I'm thinking that I've missed my chance, that I had this, beautiful thing I could have done for them, and I've missed my chance. And as I'm watching the best man and the bridesmaid give their speeches, and I look around the room and realize all these people are circled around in a circle around the room, and they're listening, and they're there to celebrate. And I suddenly realize, oh, this is the moment. This is when you're going to do this. And suddenly I'm terrified. All of these people, I didn't count on all of these people. I wasn't going to, invite in all of these people. I don't even know a lot of these people. And people in my family, and like, it's so vulnerable. It's so vulnerable. And yet there was this deep knowing inside of me, this is what needs to happen. If you want to do this, this is the moment. It was so clear to me that it had transpired, that it had been set up for me, that I didn't have to do the work of gathering people or deciding who or getting people into a certain format or into a certain place and time. It was done for me. I just had to be ready. And interestingly enough, I had shown up ready. I had packed all of my things and brought them with me just in case, even though I didn't really think it was going to be happening. So next thing I know, I am asking everybody not to disband, and some people are talking, and I'm like, decide, no, like, you're not going to, like, I need you to listen, please. And the room gets quiet. I'm being very assertive, and I know this is a long story, but I'm just trying to convey that I was really unsure about this, but the moment I stepped into the middle of this crowd of people, and I have my drum, I have a hand drum that I've made out of elk hide, and so I've got this drum. I mean, it's so not that setting, but I've got this drum and I've got this rattle, and I let people know that we're gonna, and we bring out these crystals, and I get help from my partner and my mother setting them up, and we make this little altar and set the crystals. I explain what they're for, and I let everyone know that we're going to charge these things up with all these beautiful intentions that we have inside of us that aren't necessarily being spoken for these two people and their life together. And I ask somebody to start us off, and before I know it, we're going around the room. Every single person has something beautiful and heartfelt to contribute. The couple are glowing and being washed in this beautiful love. And it was amazing. It was amazing. And I had wondered if anyone would participate, if people would leave or refuse to say anything or be grumbling about it being weird. And it didn't happen. What happened was people were excited and they participated and they loved it, and the energy in the room came up and was just this beautiful, beautiful thing. And I could have never seen myself doing that, and I wouldn't have decided to do that. But I was listening to what I was being asked to do, and it was set up for me. And after it was over, I realized, I was also, I spoke and I sang a little bit of a song. I mean, I used to be the girl who would cry every time she had to get up in school to give a speech in front of her class. This is incredible that I'm standing there doing this and honoring these people that I love in this way, and it felt so right, and it felt so easy. It didn't have to be hard. And afterwards, the really incredible thing is afterwards, I had, my dad, who's never seen me work like that, who's never seen my work, came up to me and just said the most beautiful things to me about what it meant for him to see that and to be part of it and to see me in that capacity, and how proud he was of me. And I mean, that's probably one of the hardest things for me, was like, what will my family think? Will my sister be okay with the fact that I'm doing this at her wedding? Will my family think it's too weird? Will they be okay with it? And to be embraced. And then to even the next day have several of the people, the wedding guests, come up to me, men even, and I'm not at all saying that it shouldn't be men. I'm just saying, like, I mostly do this work in circles of women, and I think for a lot of us in this work, we experience a lot of women, and to have the men in this group each come up to me and in a different way tell me a different story about how they experienced it, what it meant to them, and how much it really moved them and meant something in their lives to have this experience, thanking me for facilitating it. I never could have imagined that. On the other side of it, before it happened, all I could imagine was that everyone was going to think I was weird and a freak and that I would regret having done it. But I trusted myself. And what I found out was that it was appropriate. It was perfect. It was beautiful. I'm proud that I could have contributed it to these people that I love so much. And all the people there that I was afraid of what they would think, they got something out of it. And in fact, maybe they needed it. Maybe they've been waiting their whole lives for that moment to turn on a switch or flip something in a different direction in their lives. You don't know who's waiting for your special medicine. You have no idea who's waiting, what they'll look like, what the time will look like, when it will become appropriate. And so I'm sharing this because it's something that's really that I'm really present to right now, and I'm really feeling myself opening to being fully myself in all moments in my life, no matter who's watching. And I'm asking you to consider the same for yourself, whether you're doing it in some degree and deepening your practice of that, or whether it's something you're just trying on for the first time. I'm inviting you. I'm letting you know that you are welcome, and you are needed, and you're not alone. You're not doing this alone, and you can do this. And you'll probably do it a lot better than you think you will. So that's what I wanted to share today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content that I'm posting here, please subscribe to the channel so you'll be kept up to date about new videos that are posted, and take care of yourselves. Until next time, blessings.